Hey guys, and welcome to part one of the walk-around videos for this 1987 BMW R100 monoshock. Like I said, this is part one. I'm going to be walking around and showing some key features of the bike and kind of showing you some cool things that it does, things we've added, things that it had stock that was pretty cool different from the earlier models. And then in some other ones, we're going to try to keep this one short. We'll go over some startups, some exhaust note sounds, some functions of the bike itself, and let you guys hear it, see what it sounds like. And then I'll also snag some video of some riding postures, because a lot of people are curious as to how it feels and looks when someone's on it. So we're gonna cover all that, and we'll jump right into it with some quick descriptions. All right, so most notably, some of the large factory changes done from this 87 to the pre-85 era R100s. BMW was actually going to discontinue the R100 model and only have their R80 in line. They didn't do that. They brought the R100 back, and when they did, they introduced the monoshock single-sided swing arm design, which is pretty slick and streamlined for this project. So the large difference between pre-85 and after would be the wheels, this mag wheel design, the monoshock, and single-sided swing arm. I'm just gonna kind of walk around the bike real slow, starting up here at the front, and I will just kind of call off some important touches and features that are going on here. So we got the Brembo dual brake calipers with Brembo floating rotors. Stainless steel brake lines by Coromoto. The custom exhaust with our 16-inch slash cut shorty exhaust and titanium wrapped header. Show you guys kind of all sides of the right side of the bike here. We have our bar end turn signal indicators, which I will be demonstrating soon when we go over some of the electric features this bike has to offer. And largely, this front fairing is from a company called AirTech, and it is the Con 1. And this aerodynamic fairing does introduce some aero to it. This is also a design inspired from the Monza racing bikes from the 70s. And we have the slightly tinted windscreen. LED front headlight. I'll show you guys down here on the other side of the wheel. Down here, we have a oil temperature gauge dipstick, which will read out your oil temp in real time. This is the charging dongle with the supplied lithium-ion battery charger. This isn't fastened right now, but what you'll do is with the charger that's supplied with the bike, the battery sits down here below the gearbox, and this charging dongle will ensure good battery life when not in use. Keep it plugged in, it keeps the battery strong. It'll ensure startup every time. And we wanted to make sure we had that incorporated in for easy charging. So with this custom-made seat, this was also inspired from the race bike seats that you would see in the early days. And this is kind of an ode to racing two-wheel era. And we have the turn signal and brake light indicators mounted underneath. this custom starter cover down here. The old airbox had a lot of hoses that would connect this in to where the filter would sit for the carburetors. Did away with all of that and have these pod filters in now. And the key is mounted to the side of that. So up here in the dash area, what we have is some LED indicators on top, blue, green, and red. The red one is gonna be your oil pressure indicator. Green is indicating neutral, and blue is your high beam readout. And then over on the left-hand control, we have turn left and turn right. This is the high beam actuator, the horn actuator, and the start button. Okay, and I think now I'm gonna dive into some electric features and kind of go over the M-Unit Blue that's installed in this and kind of explain what that is, what it does, and there's quite a bit. So we'll jump into that right now. All right, guys, so as I just mentioned, this bike is equipped with the M-Unit Blue by Moto Gadget. And this little guy has a lot of features involved in it, and I probably won't be able to cover it all in this short video. There's just so many. But mainly what it is a GPS Bluetooth-enabled smart bus that will connect your cell phone to all functions and more to this motorcycle. So the main feature that you get with the M-Unit Blue is your cell phone becomes your key with Keyless Go. So there is an app that will be downloaded where you can control the M-Unit remote from your phone. And by enabling Keyless Go, as you walk up to the bike, you will notice that the turn signals will flash once, letting you know that the bike is now in its range for detecting the key or your phone, and that it is ready to start. So as you approach it, it'll flash. You don't need to turn the key. You can press and hold the feature or the start button, and you're ready to go. That feature can be disabled if you were to desire to do so. Another awesome thing that the M-Unit does with its GPS abilities is it will track where this bike is at all times, and you can even ping a location if you want to get an update of where it currently sits. With the feature also, you get a silent alarm. So if this bike was to be moved with the key off and your phone not near, what'll happen is it will trigger a silent alarm. And I'll demonstrate that now. Just by touching it, you'll see that the alarm. So right now we have the indicator lights flashing, and they'll flash briefly to conserve battery. This also sends a notification to your phone telling you that your bike has been touched or tampered with. And you can set the sensitivity of that high and low, and also to be an audible alarm with the horn going. That is not enabled right now for obvious reasons, but that is an option for you. Now, to more of a technical side of what the M-Unit offers, there's no fuses on this bike or relays. It's all internal into about the size of a bar of soap. There's no fuses, so what it's doing is it has MOSFET switching technology. If a fuse were to flip on this bike, the remedy for that is by turning the key off and turning it back on, and your breaker essentially has been reset and you're back on the road. Now we'll dive in quickly up here to the hand controls. Over on the left side, we have our turn left indicator button, and that will tell us that was the lane departure feature. Quick tap will turn on lane departure. Press and hold will keep it on. So what you're going to see here is the turn signals are strobing, and the M-Unit also allows you to have this set on a timer, which I have it set for 30 seconds. So if you forget to turn it off, it'll automatically shut off after 30 seconds. There's also a feature to where it will track your GPS location. Once it's seen that you have made your turn through the satellites, it will actually turn off the GPS, or the turn signal for you. And then this button is the right side. And up here we have the high beam, low beam. And what's pretty slick about the high beam is when we switch it from low beam, that amber light goes bright white with a fade. Up here is the GPS speedometer, and that count up clock you see is establishing GPS connection for your current speed. Once that establishes, you get a current speed readout, and then your odometer and trip meter will become active. And then once the bike is turned off, what you'll notice is the indicators will flash twice, letting you know that the bike is locked and the alarm has been set and you are free to walk away. With the ability to control the M-Unit functions from your phone, you have an easier option to change certain functions of the bike. We're going to turn it on now by turning the key. And with immediate turn of the key, you get a readout here of your LEDs. It is showing me that I am in neutral and I currently have no oil pressure. The headlight will turn on and a amber stripe will be illuminated. And as I was talking, the M-Unit offers customization to certain functions of the bike with brake lights, tail lights. You can have the indicators on dim if you wanted like parking lights. But I have currently right now the brakes set up to strobe and then stay solid for a little extra kind of protection and to be a little more noticeable out on the street. Here's a quick shot of the bike with all its lights on. Get you guys some four ways going. Okay, and in this next part, we're gonna be starting it up, giving some revs, letting you hear the exhaust note, and then we'll get into some riding postures. All right, guys, finally the moment we've all been waiting for. We're gonna fire her up and show you guys what idle sounds like. And we'll get down here by the tips and we'll give it a couple revs and demonstrate kind of the feel and sound of what's going on. Everything's cold. First start up. It is very cold in here. It's probably 30 degrees, so it may take a second to crank over. But we turn the key, make sure we are in neutral, and let's get it fired up. Guys go. Beautiful sound. All right, we're moving right into the posture, riding position portion here. I am about 5'10" and about 140 pounds, and I hope that will give you a kind of close description of what it might look like if you were sitting on it. And I'll go over some different riding positions that seem to be the most comfortable and the most functional, because that is kind of the most important part there is when you're actually riding it, what posture is good for what type of riding you are doing. So I'll demonstrate that now. I'll jump on and show you guys some of the most comfortable positions to be on this bike with. So here I am, 5'10". I can easily flat foot. No concern for dropping it. It's a very light machine. The peg's a little bit in my way there, but as you can see, I mean, I can even stand up on it, even if I go on my tippy toes. But yeah, very comfortable, flat foot, total control. The riding posture, we'll call position 1. Slight little bend in your elbow. Not a lot of the weight is kind of on your hands here. It's not a very fatiguing posture at all. And if so, you could just kind of bring your chest forward and put the weight kind of back on your shoulders. But very comfortable, long rides with just a natural position. And if you hug the tank in with these knee pads here, it becomes very comfortable. All right, guys, and that about wraps everything up for the demonstration of this 87 Monza BMW R100 Cafe Racer build. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any other questions or request any other photos or running videos or anything else, please reach out and we will get that to you. But here she is. And we love her.